Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Reishandy Valiansa and my student ID number is 2321220447. And today, my group and I will be talking about connectives and explanation text. So here are our members. There's Medina, Callista, Andria. There is Zacky Muhammad Abduh. There's Kenzhi, Naraya, Rabbani, and there is Rizki Al-Asy'ari. So let's get to the material, shall we? First of all, what is a connective? Well, this will be explained by Rizki Al-Asy'ari. He will also explain about types of connectives. So I'm going to let him speak.
Okay, thank you, Reishandy, for having me. And my name is Rizki Al-Asy'ari, and my last three digit of student ID number is 158. So, what is connective? Connectives are words or phrases that indicate links between concepts by joining together sentence fragments or clauses in a text. They add with the smooth and logical flow of writing by highlighting links between ideas like addition, contrast, cause and effect, sequence, and comparison. Instead comprise of terms and, but, however, therefore, and in addition. In writing, they are necessary for cohesion and clarity. And there is types of connectives. There is adding connectives, sequence connectives, emphasizing connectives, comparing connectives, cause and effect connectives, qualifying connectives, illustrating connectives, and contrasting connectives. The first one is adding connectives. These connectives are used to add information or ideas. For example, the word is Anne. She enjoys reading novels, and she also likes watching movies. And the second one is sequence connectives. These connectives show the order or sequence of events. For example, the word is first. First, we need to gather all the ingredients. Then we can start cooking. Third is emphasizing connectives. These connectives are used to emphasize a point or idea. The example, the word is indeed. It was challenging task. Indeed, it requiring a lot of effort.
Okay, so there are more of connectives I'm going to be explaining, and then there's also comparing connectives. So these connectives are used to indicate similarities or comparison between ideas. For example, you can use the word similarly, equally, and then in the same way, likewise, as with, and then also you can use the word like. And for the example, for the word similarly, you can use this word. You can use this sentence. The company aims to expand its market to share. Similarly, its competitors are also striving for growth. And then there's also cause and effect connectives. So these connectives show the relationship between cause and effects. You can use the word because, so, and then therefore, thus, and consequently. And for the example, for the word therefore, you can it can go like this. The roads were icy, therefore we drove cautiously. Next. So there is also qualifying connectives. So these connectives are used to introduce conditions or qualification. You can use the word however, although, except, if, as long as, and also unless. So, for example, for the word unless, it can go like this. Unless you study hard, you won't pass the exam. And then there's also illustrating connectives. So these connectives are used to provide examples or illustrations. For example, you can use the word that I just said earlier, for example. So this actually illustrate the sentence that we're going to be speaking. So for the last connective, there is contrasting connectives. So these connectives are used to show differences and also contrast between different ideas. For example, you can use the word whereas, and then instead of, and then alternatively, otherwise, unlike, and also on the other hand. But also you can use the word however. As shown in the PowerPoint, she won, however, it was raining heavily. Okay, now for the next material, material, we're going to be talking about explaining text. So this will be explained by Medina Callista.
Okay, thank you, Ray. So the next is explanation text. What is explaining? Is a way to logically sequence the way that we and our environment physically function, as well as understanding and interpreting why cultural and intellectual ideas and concepts prevail. So the purpose is to tell how and why something happens in the world. Explaining plays a big role in sharing information. So explanation text is a text that provides an explanation of a certain phenomenon or event. And then there are two types of explanation. The first is explanation of how, that informs us about what is occurring now and the process of something. And the second is explanation of why, is a type of explanation of the reason something happens now. Furthermore, will be explained by Zacky.
I'm sorry, Zaki, you're still on mute.
Okay, I'm here. I'm gonna talk about structures of explanation text. Structures 1 consists of the first title, the second general statement introducing or identifying the phenomenon series of sequenced paragraphs, the third concluding paragraph, and the last labeled diagrams and flow charts. Next, structures 2 consists of the first statement. An explanation text usually starts with a statement that introduces the subject or topic to the reader. For the example, many plants, including sunflowers, daisies, and tulips, follow the sun's movement throughout the day. The next explanation, how things happen or the reason why. Next, there comes a series of steps that explain how things happen or the reason why. For the example, this behavior is called heliotropism, where plants orient themselves toward the sun to maximize sunlight absorption. As the sun moves across the sky, plants adjust their position by bending their stems or leaves. This allows them to optimize photosynthesis, the process by which they convert sunlight into energy. By following the sun, plants ensure they receive adequate light for growth and reproduction, which is essential for their survival and propagation. The step continue will until the explanation is complete. After that, there is language features. Language features 1. We use of present tense, and then we use of complex nouns and groups to build detailed description. For the example, the enormous expanse of arid land, the rampaging, threatening river. And then, in explanation track, in language features 1, we use of abstract nouns. For the example, heat, earthquakes, etc. And then, we use of pronouns for words already introduced in the text. After that, usually the subject is not human. For the example, mountains, rain, video, etc. And then, use of sentences that have a clear subject and verb agreement. Use of action verb to explain cause. For example, started from. Use of adverbial of time and place to tell where and when action occurred. For the example, it is to be found in North America. And then the next language features 2 will be explained by Kenzhi Naraya Rabbani.
Okay, thank you. So here I'm gonna talk about another language features in explanation text. First, the use of connectives to link time sequence in cause and effect sequence. For examples, like first, then, after, finally, and etc. After that, there is also use of passive voice and nominalization to link event through cause and effect. Other than that, there is also use of time conjunction, for example like when and as, to sequence and link event to keep the text flowing. Placing of this conjunction first in the sentence in order to focus the reader attention, like when he reached the summit of the mountain, he felt exhilarated. And then use of technical terms or word chains about subject. For example is spider falls into the family of arachnids. Often in explanation text there is including diagram, pictures or charts to help you understand. Diagram and charts always have a title, and pictures will always have a caption underneath.
Okay, thank you
Okay, I think
everyone
that's it.
for
I will give it
explaining
back to the
the
moderator,
materials for
please.
today. So yeah, that is all from our presentation. Thank you for your attention. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.